R. Hello. How you doing? Alright, guys. Tali, hello. Chris, hello. Dongliang. Dongliang Li. G. Ept. Hello from Ukraine. How you doing? Oh, no problem. Glad you're enjoying it. Well, top of the morning to you. How do you zoom in and pan using your stylus? I have scrubby zoom on. That's what I use all the time. And I turn off the animation zoom because it's annoying. So yeah, so I just click and for scrubby zoom, you just kind of click and drag. So with the tablet, you can kind of zoom in and out real easily. Jeepster, you're not in late. No, you're definitely not late. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing well. All right. What am I doing today? I'm going to be painting on this thumbnail that I started. I started last week on this. Buenos noches, Miguel. Harrison, hello. I hope I'm not offline. I hope I'm online right now. Tana Korn. Hello. Shanini. Hello. Hope you guys are doing well. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. ¿Y tú? Alright. Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna work on this. I did this during while I was working. I just did this little thumbnail. It started off black and white, like this, and I used gradient maps to add color. So yeah, I added the color in there, and I kind of like it where it's going. The gradient maps are nice because it kind of forces me to use colors I wouldn't normally use, or a palette I wouldn't normally use, so it kind of worked out. Roger Paints, hello, thanks for coming by, thanks for following, much appreciated. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit and actually get going. I was thinking about different cropping. Maybe something a little tighter, something a little HD. Maybe I'll go a little taller. And I had another thumbnail that was like this. This one's very calming. I don't know which one you guys would like better. You like the diagonal one or the flat one? It has a, I mean, it's the same stuff, but I just rearranged it and it just has a completely different mood. Emmanuel, hello. Something in the sewer. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, thanks for coming by. Diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'll continue with this. And I like doing these gradient maps, you know. Something I've been experimenting with more lately. I used it before, but I just really didn't find... I don't know, I just didn't really find any good use for it. But lately, I've been messing with it a lot more, and I kind of like it. And so now that I have my composition, basic palette, I can just go in and paint. Just think about mark making, think about finishing this thing up. Alright. I'm gonna get some, these are my forest references. Got a lot of different tree references. So I'm gonna keep that on the other monitor and just to reference it. Reference my references. You like the flat one more? The trees seem bigger. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, we could do something like this. Yeah, my characters are pretty large by comparison. Adriano, hello, I'm doing great. Seems to be some conflicting responses here. Some like the flat one, some like the diagonal one. I think I get what you're saying about this one, about the trees and the size of versus the size of the people. But I could actually do that with this one because I could just shrink the people down, and then the scale of the trees look way more massive. You know, I can make tiny people, really, really tiny people, and then you got really giant trees. I'm doing all right. I've had a long day. M.H. Stefani. Hello. How are you doing? I'm going to go with this one. But I'm going to adjust some things so that, yeah, the trees feel bigger. For sure. Let me keep a flattened version of where we started. Okay. I'm going to push some things around a little bit. What's that say? XG Chow. Zhengbao? Oh, Zhengbao. Okay, thank you. 谢谢，谢谢。So I want to, with this, focus a little bit more on mark making. I used a lot of photos at work today, so I want to paint something. Well, I had a good day. I had a very good day. Most days are good days, I would say. Fat Coon, thank you for following. Much appreciated. It's always nice to get people watching on Twitch. Do I do live critiques at all? I do want to do a stream where I do portfolio reviews and stuff like that. I would love to do that. I haven't set that up yet. I've been talking about it for a few weeks. I haven't really had too many people ask me about it, so I forget about it. That's the honest truth. I think if more people just kept asking me about it, I would totally do it. I just forget. Because that would require me to like send some information out and plan ahead. Something I'm not very good at doing. I would have to plan ahead and then get a bunch of people to send me their stuff and then do it. But I haven't got around to that. But if you're interested, hey, send me an email and maybe you'll be the first one. Yeah, I totally would like to do it. Daniel, hello. What's good? Everything's good, man. Hope everything's good with you. Just painting things. Oh, awesome. Oh, you watched the Totoro video? That was silly. I think I had that thing made. I like basically made the video and edited it and everything, and then it sat on my computer for a month or longer. And then last night I was like, I should just do the last few finishing things to the video and just post it. It's been sitting there for too long. So that's what I did. I just decided to finish it up. Just that stuff takes so long to do. Like cut together and edit videos. It's so long. And then people just want to see the real time anyways. Well, some people do. I think some people think they want to see the real time, and then they realize that it would be a very long video and no one would actually sit through and watch any of it. And plus I do live streams, so it's like, well, I'm already doing that. I like having like a less than 10-minute concise video process, because that's basically my attention span when I look at videos. So I assume that's the attention span of a lot of people when they watch my videos, like not too much. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, the image, like, I didn't really like the way the image turned out, but I think it's fun. It's just all for fun, so I don't really care too much. I was almost never gonna like post it or show it because like because I didn't like it. But it's, yeah, I think people would enjoy it just because it's Totoro, right? And it seems like all my painting process videos are now just going to be fan art. That's the trend right now. Is there a camel or a llama? No, it's neither. It's like this creature that I was painting in another image that I post on my I post on Instagram, like a work in progress. It's like this Brian Froud looking creature. It's like a sort of like a camel or horse, but with a really long neck. I just subbed it in there. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that. It looked more interesting, so I might just keep it like that, honestly. Just some long-necked creature. Alright, let's figure these trees out. Michelle Chua, hello. Thanks for coming by. Yura, hello. Am I ever planning on teaching again? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing a mentorship program, and a much more one-on-one thing. I think that's the better way to go. I don't know that I'll teach with CGMA. I might. I don't know. But I want to try doing my own thing for a while. I do want some really thick trees in here. Yeah, but unfortunately I had to push back the mentorships till August or July, because I just got a bunch of freelance work that I wasn't expecting, and that's not cool. So unfortunately I had to like push it back a little bit, but I'm definitely going to get it going probably August or July, and yeah, that's exciting. I'm very excited to do it. Very excited. Anga, hello. I don't know about this tree. Get rid of it for now. I don't know about this one. I definitely don't want these trees to be distracting. And overall, they should be thinner. I mean, overall, they should be thicker. They should not be as thin as the trees behind them. So probably fewer and thicker in the foreground. It's very hard to be very random and natural, like if you're painting something that's organic in nature. It's our really our instinct to make things line up, to be equal size, to be arranged neatly. But that's not how nature works. Nature is very random, chaotic. There is a purpose and design for the way things are placed, but a lot of things are also very chaotic. So to do that intentionally is very difficult, actually. So even like putting out these little twigs on these trees, I'm making them all evenly spaced, and that's just completely by accident. That's just something that happens just naturally. It doesn't look right. It always looks better when things are chaotic and separated from one another. You don't want two sizes too similar. You don't want spatially things to be spaced so evenly in both the positive and negative space. It's very difficult to do that. So if I made a lot of the trees very thick back here, like this middle ground tree, it would flatten out spatially because they would be the same size as the foreground trees, and it would confuse the space, confuse the scale. How old am I? How old do you think I am? What? You're crazy. 56? Late 20s. That's closer. That's closer. $32, $29. Fat Coon, thank you for coming by. Yeah, it'll be up on YouTube, also on Twitch as well. I just turned 30 years old. I'm having my first midlife crisis. Uh-oh, Lynn. More. Ah, xixie. Had to get my wife to translate. Xixie, xixie. Michelangelo. I'll never work as hard as Michelangelo did. Or if you mean the Ninja Turtle, I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment. Mikey. Although, I was more a Donatello fan, actually. '30's not bad, no, but it's just getting you to. It gets. You start rethinking things a little bit, I guess. At least I have. Yin, hello. How are you doing, man? Oh, my end is doing alright. I've been really busy. I've got some surprise freelance work, so I've been really busy with that. And I wasn't even going to stream. I just needed a break. This is my happy break time. Michelangelo never streamed. No, he didn't. I think his streams would be super boring, though. Only slightly more boring than mine. But very, very boring. Do I ever work as a game artist, bro? I hope I'm a game artist, bro. That's some elite status. Happy break, happy trees. Any luck with the mentorship thing? I had to delay it because of all the freelance work, the surprise freelance work. My schedule is all super busy right now. So I had to delay it till about probably August. And I've got some people lined up. But if you guys are still interested, send me an email. Send me an email with some work samples, and we'll see what happens next. I should have more time around then. Hopefully. I really would like to do it. How to find work if you've only recently made a portfolio? Well, you got to put your portfolio out there so people can see it. There's people looking for artists. You can send in an application. You can apply to different positions. Email people. Try to get in touch. You know, if you got that portfolio, you got to get it out there. Or get feedback on it if you don't think it's quite ready. Will the mentorship be through YouTube and Twitch? No. The mentorship is one-on-one. It's much more private. So there'll be assignments each week, and then we'll talk on Skype. I'm not gonna broadcast it. Oh, if you send me an email, that's great. I probably responded with the fact that I have to delay it, but I'll take another look when I pick it back up again. Yes, the live critique thing would just be a Twitch stream like this, and I would look at people's uh, illustrations that are work in progress or portfolios, and then do paint over feedback and give them, yeah, direct feedback. I want to do that, but I haven't set that up yet. Which is the warmest and which is the coolest part of the color wheel? Well, warm colors are typically anywhere from yellow to, um, I don't know, maybe indigo. So this range. Actually, green can be considered a warm color. And cool colors are like these blues and violets, teal, these colors over here. So you got warms and cools. But sometimes a gray color could be both warm and cool. So let's say we got a painting that's very, very blue. Whoa. Let's get rid of color dynamics. We got a very, very cool blue painting with blue trees. And then like blue light. If I want to make something warm, I could actually just take like the same blue here and desaturate it. And now it appears warm. I could even get to the same value right there. And now suddenly this gray appears to be a warm color. It almost looks like it's red or orange, but it's not. It's just gray, just desaturated blue. Even a less saturated blue will appear warm. And the same goes for, you know, if you have a very red painting, warm painting, and then you stick a medium gray in there, the medium gray is going to actually appear blue. So it almost looks like a cool blue blotch in the middle of the orange. That's called simultaneous contrast. It's all warm and cool. It's really just an illusion. Hey, you can email me. You know, I'll let you know. Doesn't hurt to do it. Never hurts to just email somebody. Is it worth to do master studies? Yeah, it just depends what you want to get out of the master study. If you're doing it just to copy blindly, then maybe that's not the best way to do it. If you're doing it because there's something you want to learn about their color choices or their brushwork or their mark making, then I think it's certainly worth exploring. You don't ever want to do studies just for the sake of a study. There's something you're trying to get out of it. I think that's a better attitude to go with while you're doing studies. It's never just to do them for the sake of doing them, but for some sort of purpose. Color hacks. Yeah, there's a lot of color theory tricks that you know that you can do in painting to make the colors more impactful. You know, when people see a painting that's really saturated and has lots of different colors, people say, "Oh wow, it's so colorful. Love the colors." But really, if everything was very saturated and everything was really colorful, then it would look like a hot mess, like a Skittles mess. I think paintings that are very saturated and have lots of color, actually the color isn't the powerful thing. It's actually the grays and the desaturated colors that have more power just like in a painting that's very kind of grayish, if you have that hit of red or that hit of bright saturated color, then that has so much power. I think the opposite is also true with a very saturated painting. Like for instance with this, I have a lot of saturated colors going on, but in the trees I'm also putting in some very, it's not gray, but it's very desaturated marks, like especially the local color of the tree trunks. It's very close to mid-gray, and when I put it in there, it warms up the trees. Now, if I just went like straight up orange and put it in there, it wouldn't have as much power, right? It would stick out in a weird way. So really, it's just about finding a balance. And the concept of warm and cool is really it's kind of an illusion. It's more a feeling than anything. And I judge most of my choices of color based on warm and cool. Not so much what color is this, but is it warm? Is it getting cool light? Is it getting warm light? And then I think about its local color later, because I see it as less important. How do I get texture? The textures are in the brush that I'm using, so it's just that part of the brush. You can download my brushes. I have a link on my YouTube page. So if you want my brushes, they're free to download. Just follow the Gumroad link. And that's it. Yeah, that's right. That's a good practice, still. Because you're not only learning how to paint a texture, but also you're understanding modeling a form, which is very important too. You can't have one without the other. I don't know about all this tree shenanigans. It's a little too many trees. This painting is just an exercise in subtlety. I don't want to draw too much attention to the background. Yet what I want is, when you look at it, is to understand the sort of space and geometry without having to over describe it. And that's actually difficult. I feel like it's more difficult to simplify than it is to be complex and add information in there. So it's a balance. Just like value is a balance, just like color is a balance, everything's a balance. So there's a balance of detail, focus, edges. There's a balance of color and saturation. Tips on painting skin. Shadows are warm. Subsurface scattering exists. Don't overcomplicate it. Skin has a very dominant local color, and then it either just goes warm or that's it. I can't really talk about it in depth like right now, because like I'm doing this. Oh, which reminds me, I should just paint some characters sometime for one of these live streams. I've been in environment land for so long with them. But I should do some characters again. I know people are asking about that. I'd be happy to do that. You want to see me do character portrait thing? Okay. In color. Yes, of course. Anything you say, I will do. Anything. These people should be in a bad mood. Not a bad mood. They should just be sad. Comment test. Comment confirmed. A funeral procession. That's a good idea. The character videos on my channel are awesome. You'd like to see more of those. Yeah, alright. Let's do more of those. People, I don't know. I shamefully, I look at like what things get more likes and what things get less likes or less views, and the character stuff always gets less. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just do more environment painting. I don't want to do what you don't want to see. So I'm sure some people like everything here and there. Some people probably only like the character stuff and don't like the environment stuff. So it's then you're splitting everything, but yeah, that's what I've noticed at least. And that's not just YouTube. That's like Instagram, or I think it's mostly Instagram. What's the hardest thing for me to draw or paint? Horses with hands riding bicycles. Yeah, I love doing characters. Actually, sometimes I just love doing characters more because it's just so instantly gratifying. Environment takes a while to come together sometimes, and I have ways of speeding up the process, but characters are just very fast and gratifying, and you can tell right away when things aren't looking right in a character because of anatomy, and anatomy's off or pose is off or something doesn't feel right. Or portrait, the face looks like an abomination. Right away. Whereas environment, it's just like sometimes it's subtle. There's little cues. Maybe the scale is slightly off. Maybe the colors aren't coming together. Like it takes a little longer, I think. Unless I'm working like this kind of process, then it's relatively quick. Horses with human hands riding bicycles. I don't know. That's a thing. It's a thing that, yeah. Yeah, horses with hands riding bikes, blog spot. Yeah, go to that. It's funny. It is the hardest thing to draw. It's a real thing. Yeah, horse anatomy. Actually, horses itself are very difficult. People always struggle with horses. They always struggle with hands. And bicycles, because they're simple machines, but there's a lot of ellipses and things that are difficult. So that's why like all those things put together is the hardest thing to draw, like, for real. I like this funeral idea. It kind of fits the music and just the whole mood of what I've got going right now. So let's do that. Please stream that. Yeah, maybe like stream 123 when I run out of ideas. I will totally do that. Horses with hands. What's the soundtrack tonight? It's just Tibetan bells. Tibetan, yeah. 11 hours of it. Thank you. That tree I posted on Instagram 3 weeks ago was amazing. Oh, thank you. I don't remember it. I think I painted like 5 trees since then. Yeah, Xerox, you're right. Yeah, people immediately spot anatomy issues right away. In environments, you can be a little bit more abstract. So in some ways, it's more forgiving. But I like characters because of that reason, because of the fact that you can look at a character and if the anatomy's off, you know exactly what's wrong with it. Sometimes in an environment, I could be sitting at it, I can be looking at it, I could be overanalyzing it, changing things that aren't necessary. You know, it's in that sense, it's a lot like graphic design, which is difficult. Um, Whereas characters, it's nice because I know what's wrong with it pretty much immediately. Unless, of course, again, it's about stylization, and then it's different. Then you could then I could probably get in my own head about my different decisions that I made and different choices I made. Um, I do tend to overthink things a lot and change things a lot, especially when it comes to composition. I never just let things sit sometimes, and then I kind of overwork it to death. That's kind of a thing that I do a lot. But with characters, I don't do that as much. It's just kind of straightforward. It's like, yeah, this is that kind of character holding this thing. Not a whole lot of nuance. I don't really like pick a pose that really says a lot about their character. I'm not very good at doing that. I can just do like, here's a generic pose, and I can just design whatever character, and I can make it look like a human or a female or male or, you know, some creature. And I could do that very quickly, but the nuance part is what I'm not very good at, you know. That's the thing that I'd like to work on more. I think if I was making characters, designing characters for an actual story, and not just designing it just because, like, whatever, here's medieval character number 235 and sci-fi character number 362, or just some, like, random, you know, generic character. And I was actually designing for something, I think then that'd be the best way to practice it. I tend not to do that, though. With environments, it's different. Like, I can paint an environment and really think a lot about story, because that just helps me get through it. Otherwise, I'll get bored. Like this funeral idea is interesting. What size is the image? What resolution is it? It's about 5,000 pixels wide. I want a clickbait video. I should do like a top 10 Photoshop tricks or something video. Top 10 Photoshop tricks. Yeah, Tibet. I definitely want to go to Tibet. My wife like hitchhiked across Tibet, and yeah, we want to go there. She wants to go back. I just need a guide or something, a chaperone, just to make sure I'm not like a free Tibet person, and I'm gonna film a documentary or spray paint free Tibet on some ancient temple. But I could go to Nepal, no problem. Yeah, we thought about ways I could get snuck into Tibet. We could sneak in there, but don't want to take the risk. It's actually not a huge deal getting a tour guide. You can still do what you want. You just have to like plan out ahead of time what you want to do, and then they just go with you, and then I think you still decide what to do. They just want to make sure you're not like an activist or a documentarian, because yeah, it's pretty sad what is going on over there. But I have no intention of doing any of that. You had a nightmare with politics this week? Uh-oh. That sounds horrible. Any tips on navigating Google Street View for reference? Um, when I do the virtual plein air stuff, it's I use MapCrunch. You should go to mapcrunch.com. It's just random Google Street View. And you can define some of the parameters so it's not completely random. So you can kind of get what you want. When it came to what I did for the Totoro image, I kind of already knew what I wanted. So I picked an area that's kind of around near where the suicide forest was. The Ekogori or whatever, I don't know what it's called. Ekogori forest. It's like called the suicide forest. So I guess it's it's like a fad to kill yourself in this forest in Japan. So that's a forest that I knew of, and I knew it was going to be very dense forest. So I just looked that area up, and then I kind of in my mind it was like the story was this guy's going to go kill himself, and then that's when he sees Totoro, and I don't know, because it kind of reminded me of like I think there's like a Japanese fable where the cat bus comes from, where it was like a bus where that crashed or something. So it's like the spirit of this crashed bus that where people died. So it all kind of tied together in my mind. None of that even like makes any sense looking at the image, but it's just like it's fun to tell yourself little stories while you're painting because it kind of makes you interested in the piece. It kind of keeps you going. Mr. Craig Mullins, hello. Do I get Toto's an omen of death? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like all those themes mixed together, and it kind of makes the painting fun. I didn't want to put that in the video. That's super morbid. Plus, I'm not sure how to say it, and I don't know if my history is 100% correct. So, yeah, Map Crunch is fun. The hardest thing is like picking a shot because I could just stay on Map Crunch for hours and just like, nah, that's not quite what I want, and then I just keep going and going and going, and then I just never actually pick one. Yeah, guys, of course it's the real Craig Mullins, of course. Who would ever imitate him on the internet? Seriously, that would never happen. Yeah, but the forest is really interesting. If you just look up Suicide Forest, it's like it's fashionable, like here in the States, jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge is like a fashionable way to kill yourself. There's a lot of people that do that. Maybe not fashionable, maybe it's romantic for some people. Do you have any suggestions with dealing with bending perspective? Oh, like because it's kind of like a warped view. You're trying to like get rid of the warping. Sometimes, if you just zoom in once, it kind of lessens the warping. So I'll just like zoom in once or twice. It's not something I really worry about. I don't think about it. I could just draw it not warped, and that's fine. I actually kind of like it. It looks cool. Getting a little bit of 3-point perspective in there. as you proved with every painting, do you reach out for honest feedback? Um, Not lately. Uh, I am incredibly hard on myself, and I'm always out to try to learn. Uh, there was, I do like when I run into artists that I really like their work or they've been a personal inspiration. I do sometimes will show them my work and then get feedback. Uh, I got the chance to hang out with one of my favorite artists, and like one of my. I turned out he was like kind of a big reason why I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Uh, he's an artist named Paul Lassani. I didn't realize that it was him until like I met him and started talking to him because he's a matte painter. He was a matte painter that worked in the film industry back when they would paint on glass, for, glass mats for films. And there was this really old, like, from 96, this Hollywood behind the scenes thing, and I was very young at the time. And I had no idea that people would actually paint those backgrounds. And that was something that I wanted to do when I figured out that's what they did, because it was like, oh my god, they can paint the background, make it look realistic. They must be just amazing. And they had this behind the scenes Hollywood thing where they were showing the matte paintings for the movie Hocus Pocus, and they had Paul Lassani on there doing an interview, and it was like they were asking him questions about that, and I remember watching it, I was like, whoa, that guy, he's that guy, he's the guy that does it, I want to do that. They don't do that anymore, but yeah, and he worked on Lord of the Rings. He was one of the first artists in there, and he worked at DreamWorks for so many years. And I actually got a chance to meet him and hang out with him in China because I was doing a workshop and he was doing a workshop there too. So we went to like Forbidden City with him and Nathan Folks, and that was fun. And then yeah, I got some feedback from him later on, and yeah, I always have to press a little bit to try to get some more information out. Because most of the time everyone would just be like, yeah, it's great, oh cool, but I try to ask specific questions to get specific answers. If you just go, how's my stuff, chances are they're going to be like, oh, that's cool, that looks great, yeah, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you say like, ask questions specifically about edges or brush efficiency or like how they would deal with this and that, then you get specific answers. So yeah, I do. Yeah, when the thing is like when you work in the industry I work in, when you work in games and stuff, you're always getting feedback. No one is ever at work saying, "Oh, that painting you did was awesome." Maybe some people might do that, but that doesn't happen. Most of the time, when we're pitching something or we're showing a painting, like people just look at it with a dead stare and then go, the gameplay people want to know about the gameplay implications. Animation people want to know about the animation implications. Producers just want to know about scheduling. Like, okay, we're gonna make this thing. Do we have time for this and that? Can we move this person on this thing to get started on that? Like, they're not like, oh wow, amazing. It's because that's not what it's about. In games at all. It's like it's for a product. It's for a project. It's not like, oh shit, look how awesome that is. And granted, that does happen. Sometimes people give you nice compliments, and that's great. But usually, my whole job is just I get just criticized in everything I do. So you get used to it. like criticisms don't really like affect you, and I don't even like get defensive about it anymore like I used to. I just go, um, if I genuinely don't agree with it, I'll state my case to the art director again and my intention again. But if they, if he doesn't, if he still doesn't agree, then that's it. You gotta drop it. You gotta move on. You can't, you can't take it personally. You just do it and you move on. Just go to the next thing. So that happens a lot. That not that I disagree with him happens a lot. It's just the criticism happens a lot. That's just part of your job. You can't get precious about it. That's why I do personal work. And most of my personal work is just, it is what it is. It's personal work. I don't really intend for it to be criticized to death. I don't really care if people want to criticize it. That's fine. Sometimes people just leave comments and just critique my shit, and it's like, okay. I mean, sometimes they do, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually a good point. You're right. I just wasn't thinking about that at the time. This sort of stuff is just my therapy. It's not really, I don't know. It's just stuff I do for fun. Yeah, Abraham, it's no problem. That's what I like to do. I think it's fun to have a community in the first place. This job can be isolating. You definitely end up in a bubble at times. So it's good to have people, and it's good, like, as I taught for 5-6 years, it's really good to teach because your students ask questions of you, and normally you'd think like the teacher should be in a position that knows everything and can answer every question, but I like when students ask questions that I don't know the answer to, because then it inspires me to like research and look it up or figure it out or try to formulate my answer in a way that makes sense. So I actually like stump questions that get me thinking, because if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be growing and learning myself. Because like as a teacher, you learn, or you should be learning from your students. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't even pretend to be the know-it-all. It's okay to say I don't know, or let me get back with you, or pause to think. That's what a lot of teachers don't do, and I don't like that. Where they just, that happens a hell of a lot in art school. I don't know if you guys go to art school, but it's like, yeah, the instructor just has to like answer, even though you don't have to answer and you don't have to know everything. You can take the Socratic method and try to answer back with more questions, or try to find logic. Especially when it comes to things like composition. That's something in art school where there's like hundreds of rules that they tell you, but like none of them actually make sense if you think about it. It's just like, what? Because like each rule can be broken, and there's there's proof of that if you look at old masters' works. Like, well, Degas didn't do that. Why do I have to do that? And it's like, oh, the horizon line can't be in the center of the painting, or you know, just things you hear about composition. It's kind of bullshit, really. I don't know. I don't even have my thoughts totally formulated on composition. That's why I haven't really like dared to make a gumroad or anything about it, because I'm still like thinking about it a lot, and I'm not even really quite sure about it. I think it's composition would just be like the vehicle in which someone sees an image. I don't know. You have to know the rules before you can break them. Yeah, I mean that's something you hear a lot too. But is that necessarily? I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't like follow one rule but break the others. I don't know. What about break all the rules? You know, what about like a Rothko painting, Mark Rothko, or a lot of the abstract expressionist painters, like what they don't follow any sort of rules. It's in fact like a rejection of a lot of that stuff. So, oh, just in time. Thanks. Oh, I've been babbling. I'm not even thinking about what I'm painting. That's not good. These characters, I'm just gonna sort of rough in. I don't think I'm gonna do a whole lot with them tonight. Just keep them simple. I could maybe, yeah, that's gonna require some more focus. I don't really have any focus right now. Mark Rothko, you want, yeah, you want his art in your house. You got to have a lot of money to have a Rothko painting in your house. That's right. Whiskey time. Once I start talking about art like that, I need some whiskey. I'm looking at my reference, and there's several different types of bark. Just wondering what kind of mark making I should do, how much variety of color. Some of these trees go very green because of reflected light, I'm assuming. When it comes to Wacom tablet nibs, when should I replace them? When they've been worked down to nothing, that's when you should replace them. So a lot of the new tablets have different nibs for different feels. I just like the regular one, and I've never had to replace a pen nib ever. Even my tablet, my Intuos, I have an Intuos 3 tablet back when they came out, back in 04 or 03 when I got it. I still have the same pen, never replaced the nib, never had to. I've never really had a tight grip. I don't really push down very hard. I never grip the pen very hard. I gotta keep my hand very light. Maybe when I started out I was gripping it very hard just because you're trying to get used to it. But I've never had to replace them. But they're very easy to replace. You can just pull them out with like tweezers and shove the new one in there. Am I working from Map Crunch in this photo? No, this is just something I made up. Just a thing I made up. So I'm basically just painting in the undergrowth on a separate layer, and then I'll paint the actual plants and stuff on top. And I'm not going to worry too much about the trees because I can just sort of mask it all out. I do want to show scale with these, with the ground and the plants, and I want to show some color variation. So I got color dynamics on, hue jitter and saturation jitter bumped up. If you had to paint a blank sheet of paper in one of these trees, what would be the color? Just a white sheet of paper? Sure, let's do that. Probably be something near to this. Does that look like a white piece of paper? And if I did it on this tree? That's between shadow and light. Yeah, that's how I would do it. Pretty dark. A little bit desaturated, but cool still. Because we have a lot of cool light coming from above. It's a part of the image now. Of course it's going to stay there. It could be a thing where, like, this is a, you know, like a lot of temples and stuff, they'll put prayers and they'll put it onto, I don't know, they'll put it on a tree or they'll put it in cracks of the wall. Maybe this is part of that. They put their prayers in these trees. So these trees are a part of the religious beliefs. Suicide notes. Man. I wasn't bringing suicide into this. You brought it in here. I didn't even... I was talking about the Totoro thing. I wasn't talking about this. It's so dark. You guys are so dark. I swear it's this music. "13 Reasons Why." What is that? Oh, is this... Oh, is that Netflix show that I never watched? By your tone, I can tell you didn't like it. It didn't interest me. It's controversial because it's glorifying suicide. When I was in high school, I remember I had some friends who wanted to kill themselves. Like they were seriously considering it. They didn't actually do it, of course, but I don't know what it is. High school is just that horrible, I guess. High school just sucks so much. I hated high school too, but I'm never gonna do that. That's too much. Seems messy. Yeah, I think the main thing I'm trying to do is using the size of the brush to show scale. The zigzagginess is kind of what I'm seeing in this reference that I've got. They're like the little mounds that build up around trees, around the base of the tree. I guess when you're in high school, you just think like that high school is just so important that there's no time in your life where things will ever be so important. It's like, come on, it's just 4 years of your life. It's not a big deal. I hated high school though. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I really, really couldn't. I did have a friend that did kill himself though. Now that I remember it. But I wasn't like really good friends with him. I was just, you know, he would sit at the lunch table with, he was like friends with my friends, sort of. And he actually did it. I remember that. It was he shot himself in a McDonald's parking lot next to our school. Like before school. And I drove past it because I always drive by it on the way to get to school. There's all these like ambulance and police cars there. It's like, what? That's weird. And then, yeah, sure enough, it was like just out of nowhere. Nobody knew about it. Nobody knew that was coming. It was crazy. High school was not that hard. I don't know. How do we arrive to this discussion? I was talking about the suicide forest in Japan. And then I let it go, and then somebody else brought it up. So I'm going to blame whoever else brought it up. You're trying to get in the cheerier side of game industry? Oh, everyone is super cheery in game industry, or they're socially awkward, but still fun. I just need a little balance. I need a little dark in my life as well as light. Oh no. Mochi wants some attention. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Oh yeah. You wanna help me paint? Mochi's looking at my painting. He looks like he's judging me. He's very harsh. No, he likes sitting up here. I'm at least paying attention to him. Mochi's weird. He's like a cat. He'd rather be alone than hang out with me or cuddle with me. Ugh. He's not really a lap dog. He likes his independence. I'm gonna take a puppy break. Corgi break. I'll do a painting of Mochi. Ross? He has a Shiba. Corgis are cuter. Shibas are cute. I have the other popular internet dog. And my wife wants to get a Shiba as well. And I'm like, we literally cannot have both internet cute dogs at the same time. We would just explode. Mochi, just look at the camera. Okay, alright, I'll put you down, buddy. Oh, boy. Oh, he's so noodly. You have to like pick him up with both ends because he's so long. It's my doji. It's my doji. Usually around this time he's like, alright guys, pay attention to me. Because we're usually in here working. Yeah, there are there are huskies crossed with corgis. I've seen German Shepherd crossed with a corgi. In every instance, it just looks like a corgi that's like disguising himself as another dog. That's what it looks like every time. It's ridiculous. You guys should follow. You should follow Mochi on Instagram. Here. You should follow Mochi on Instagram. There we go. That's his he's at GoGo Mochi. Oh, you were watching the Dead Space one? Yeah, that was one of the very early ones that I did. I'd like to do more Dead Space fan art. Maybe that'll be the next thing. I don't know, what's a hot new fan art thing I could do? I've been feeling like I want to do another fan art piece. What's a hot property right now that kids are into? Yeah, he's got his own Instagram, of course. Corgis are weird dogs. They have so much character. They're like I said, he's more like a cat than a dog. And I bet says Zitro. How often do I stream? Oh, I try, like, my times are Sunday Pacific time, noon to 5, somewhere between there, and Wednesday 9 to, midnight, or 9 to 11 on Wednesdays. That's all Pacific time. Yeah, so that's usually when I do it. If I don't have time, I just don't do it. If I do have time, I do it. I don't know. It's just play it by ear. I have a full-time job and doing all this stuff, so it's hard for me to like take time out to actually stream. It's Yeah, I'd like to do it more in the future though. I just have to quit doing something. Yeah, follow Mochi. Yes, do it. Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a good idea, but that's kind of past because the movie came out. I want something that's like on the horizon, something that's coming out. Because it's gonna take me a while to make an image for for something. And I feel like Guardians is already like pretty cool. It already looks cool. So I don't know what I would add to it. Like me personally. I mean, I'm sure other artists could do something awesome where they add to it. But I don't want to just like copy it. Copy, like, I want to change it and be inspired by, get inspired by it. Have a different take on it, I guess what I'm saying. Game of Thrones, it's a good idea. Blade Runner, yeah, Blade Runner is really, really, really inspirational property for me. I think that's the winner right there. I love me some cyberpunk stuff. I don't do a whole lot of it, but I would like to do a hell of a lot more. And that Dead Space thing was kind of cyberpunky. I kind of did a cyberpunky spin on it. And while you're here, I can even show you, like, this was, I was looking at screenshots, and I found this one from Alien, the first Alien. Yeah, and it was like, I don't know, I saw that and I was like, oh, I should do a Dead Space painting, but that has like some of the cinematography, this composition from the Alien film. So I kind of was inspired by that. So I like to have like something like, Dead Space, but then bring it back to some other property I'm inspired by, like Alien, and cross between the two. Like the painting I'm working on now is like, I've got like, what's his name, Roger Dean art in my mind a lot. Roger Dean, and also, why am I thinking? Oh, the Dark Crystal. So the Dark Crystal and Roger Dean, mix the two together, see what you get. Like, it's a weird thing. So I like to take two different things and try to like mash them together into something different or new. Like the Zelda thing was like Zelda and Miyazaki. They're not like two like completely separate things, but mashing them together creates something interesting for me. Ori and the Blind Forest, I love it. I love Ori. Love that game. One of my favorites. I gotta find some way to like bring that, mesh that with something else. Ori's already pretty awesome. Oh, they're making a Dark Crystal prequel? Are they gonna do the Muppets and the animatronics and everything practical? I hope they better. There's a lot of inspiration from Dark Crystal for me personally, even though watching the movie right now is like, and some of it looks kind of nasty, but some of it looks really, really great and just completely timeless. Ori and Child of Light. I'm not really that into Child of Light. Ori's pretty great though. But Ori already looks, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy, it already looks really good. I would need to find something that I would like to mesh it with would kind of take a different spin on it. Red Dead Redemption's a really great idea. I'm super hyped for the new one, which I'm probably not going to be able to play for a long time because I think they're going to keep delaying it. Yeah, they made Red Dead Redemption just right up the road for me. The first one. At Rockstar San Diego over here. Alright, now I'm losing track of what I was doing. This kind of shows scale. Wonder how like little dappled light would look here. Yeah, Blade Runner is a great idea. Oh, I know what I can do. Blade Runner and the Orientalist painter David Roberts. You guys should look up David Roberts, Orientalist painter. Did paintings of Egypt. Because like Blade Runner's got a lot of really interesting monolithic structures. And they have that like warm palette, especially in the new one. There's scenes where there's like looks like polluted air, warm palette, and there's a lot of that in David Roberts' paintings. I think I'll do that. I'll have to think more about it though. New Fire Emblem. I totally missed out in Fire Emblem because I'm way into that turn-based combat. But I haven't owned a Nintendo system until I got the new Switch. So now I have a Nintendo system. So whatever Fire Emblem thing they're gonna put out, I'm gonna buy it because I'm all about it. Because I love some turn-based strategic combat, like XCOM. XCOM and Invisible Ink was a really great game. And Banner, the Banner Saga was great. Love that. So, Fire Emblem is definitely on my radar. It's very anime though, the look. Not sure, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I could do like a really Western take on like an anime property. Like something that's super anime, but do like a Western take of that. I don't know. That could be a thing. Or like I started a Ghost in a Shell painting, but it never went anywhere. I start a lot of things that don't go anywhere, that nobody will ever see. Just to let you know. Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop. That's like the only anime that I can mention and say that I like. One of the few. It's definitely the only anime TV show that I can say that I like. I don't really watch much anime, so I've just seen all the big ones, all the big movies that everyone's seen. Transistor's great. Transistor as a Western. We're getting there. Little Nightmares, somebody said. It's a good idea. I like anything that's an 80s property, I'm totally into as well. Rhyme looks really great too. Rhyme and I think like their inspirations are like Soroya, like palettes and everything looks like Soroya paintings. So I could see like thinking about Soroya and something else, you know. I don't know. Do I ever make up my own world? I mean, I gotta make up stuff all the time at work. I actually am. Yeah, totally. I have three kind of separate world ideas that I keep in my mind whenever I do personal work, and a lot of them are connected. I have giant reference folders of those three areas. I have some images that I've done based on those three areas. Bianca, good morning. So yeah, like those three worlds are something I'm ever developing. If I had more time, I would do it a lot more. Yeah, bro, I make stories all the time. I'm not gonna write it. I'm not a writer. Enjoying your coffee? Well, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. How's your coffee? Is it black? Do you got some milk, some sugar in there? Like the bold coffee. Yeah, I think the Blade Runner idea is a good idea. I'll have to ponder that a little bit. For sure. Is this painting in one of those three? No, not exactly. I mean, this I'm actually thinking about. it's a little bit connected to another painting that I'm working on. I guess I can open it. It's not in a good spot. I don't know. It's not really in a good spot. If you follow me on Instagram, I made a post. I made just like a off-screen shot of the painting. It has a woman riding one of these creatures in a forest. So there's a little bit of connection. Don't know exactly what that means, but I think you say Blade Runner in every stream. That's just how much I like the movie. I remember I wrote a paper in college that was all about Blade Runner, like dissecting it. It was like for some film and literature class. I like broke it down, did some research. And I'm gonna have to end it here pretty soon. The dog is whining. He wants me to take him out. Or you don't have to do it. I can do it. Okay. Okay. Dog's in charge. He's basically in charge. Draw me. I could draw Mochi. He's always smiling. Oh, he's got little stubby legs. And he's like that long. He's got no tail. Oops, something happened over here. There, that's Mochi. Her. Woof. That's a really bad drawing. My wife does the best corgi drawings. You should look her up. If you want to see good corgis, Lin Chen art. There you go. There's Mochi. Anyways, back to this. I like this music. It reminds me of when I was in China. and the temples. Actually, I should try to find I want to find some real temple singing. This is like, that's not it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Ooh. Some Mongolian throat singing. I would love her to stream. What time is it over here? It's 11:30 p.m. It's about time for me to end it here. Just a minute. Yeah, I would love for her to stream. She's shy, so probably not. She's shy. Streaming is like, it's hard. I mean, it's not hard. I don't know what it is. It takes a while to get used to. It will be archived and anyone can watch it. So it just takes time. Did you follow her? Good. Everyone should. Her work is delightful. My work was never delightful at all until I met her. She does that to people. Yeah, introvert. I'm kind of like my mom is like a crazy introvert, and my dad is like he's very extrovert. And I'm a mix of both my parents, where some days I'm introvert, some days I'm extrovert. Some Ivan Earl? I like his mark making. I'm not sure if I see the Ivan Earl. And maybe some of the speckliness of this growth on the ground, maybe. In fact, this painting could probably use a little bit of Ivan Earl. Let's see if I can make an Ivan Earl brush. I'm going to try to imitate. This is the kind of thing I want to experiment more with, just making more brushes and playing with different types of mark making. So I'm not doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, and the silhouettes. Now you've got me thinking about Ivan Earl. I wonder if there's a fan art property that I can mesh with his sensibilities. Just for funsies. Am I onto something? Good. Let's see how it behaves in the foreground. How do I end up with this color style? What are my influences? Well, with this, I used gradient map to color it. I started with black and white, and then I used a gradient map to color it. I didn't really have anything directly that I was influenced by when I looked at it. When I was deciding the colors, I was just being more. I was just trying to use a palette that is a little off from what I normally use. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit off. And yeah, gradient maps are a good way to kind of pull yourself out of what you normally do and choose colors that you don't normally choose. What is a gradient map? I'll show you. Good question. Let's take this black and white image. Now when I was doing this I had separate layers, so I did each layer individually. But basically you go to Edit, or you go to Image, Adjustments, Gradient Map. Oh, hello. Fallen Morning, thank you for the follow. So, let me reverse. So basically, it takes your whole gradient of color or value from your darkest darks to your lightest lights, and let me do that again. And it replaces the color based on the gradient that you choose. So here's some other gradients that I used for other things. So it's basically just going to replace the color, right? Let's just take this to start, and let's say I want like cool shadows. So I pick like a cooler, darker color. And I want warm lights, so I pick a warmer, lighter color. And then I can add things to the gradient, like I want it to shift green in the more of the mid-tone area. And then I can adjust the gradient so that just that value catches the green. So yeah, it just completely replaces the color. This is a bad example. I think the better way to do it is to do each layer individually. That way you're not getting everything looking the same all the way through. You get a little bit more nuance. But that's basically how this started with a black and white. No, it's fun. It's fun to do. Makes your brain drain. It's not something I normally use, but it's something that I started using recently. I've used it before, I just haven't really been able to use it to great effect. But it's something I'm really trying to use more now, because I want to use different colors. Different palettes that I don't normally use. I think that's important. I don't want all my stuff looking the same. Foo Rebirth. Thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by. Alright guys, gonna call it there. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh, here's those pieces of paper. It's an idea. I don't know if it's an idea for this or an idea for another image, but I like the idea of the posting prayers on different surfaces in the painting. That's where we started. Right here. Could I hue shift the painting? What, like this? Yeah, you're not really going to get a good result if you just do this. I mean, you might be able to shift it a little bit here and there, but the problem is that the values don't match up with the local color that's added in there. So when you change the local color and the values aren't where they should be, then you end up with these really weird Easter eggy, washed out, sometimes a little too much color. I think shifting a little bit to the left and right is fine, but once you go past a certain point, it just gets into horrible mess territory. Alright guys, thanks for joining in. Thank you MH Stefani, Daniel, Emperor, Chris, thank you for coming in. Jeepster, have a great night. See you next time.